filtered in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walk the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win, apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, apply myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back to talk about, I'm here to talk about three different things. I'm here to talk about NIT championship yesterday. I'm here to talk about the Final Four for the men's tomorrow. And I'm here to talk about the Final Four for the women's that just happened today. Before I get into that, I'd like to ask that you leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network. My channel, CTC, Carl Talking College, by way of the Refuse to Lose network. So CTC, Refuse to Lose. We also got shows like BWT, who just recapped the Yankees and Diamondbacks series that happened. I think that ended yesterday. We got RBO, who just went live today. Missed that one, so I don't know what he's talking about, but I do have to catch that. We got Dave's Doghouse, who went live 2 days ago, because today's Friday. He went live 2 days ago. Got to catch that one, too. We had a meeting. Missed that one. FFC went live this week. Fantasy football, which now he's not talking fantasy football. Obviously, he's talking more so NFL football, preseason, draft, stuff like that. We got Kings Talk with Joe Jordan, where he was doing Kings games. Now he's doing Kings topics. Be on the lookout. He might be doing a Kings topic soon. They just played the Celtics. Tough loss. Sorry, Joe. I'm missing anybody. I know we got In the Red Corner, boxing only during the meeting that came up. Boxing only, but that's featuring Ty, Ricky, and Fast Camp. And the main show. The main show went live this morning. They talked about Stephon Diggs yesterday. They talked about other things. Missed it this morning. Work was hectic. Got to catch up on that one. But please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network grow. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. So let's get to these comments. Oh, brother. Dave says, terrible call. I disagree. I think it's the right call. I think people are complaining at the time in which it was called. But if you're complaining about the time in which it was called and whether or not it was an offensive foul or not, to me, it's just like, okay, I've said this before. I'll say it again. If you're complaining about a call, whether it's right or wrong because of when it was called, then let's just take the refs out of sports. We'll play jail ball. Whatever happens is whatever happens. You want the players to decide it? Let the players decide it. If the player decides to foul, they foul, but there's no ref, so there's no call. I mean, that's how people want to act. So they did it with the Bradbury thing, Eagles fans. They did it with Bradbury. They tried to do it with Mahomes. So there. Teddy says UConn was robbed. I disagree. Even with the call, Iowa missed the second free throw. UConn did not get the rebound. It is an argue. Coaches will kill you if you give up an offensive rebound off a missed free throw, and that's what UConn did late game. Iowa was able to get an offensive rebound up 2. So I don't think they were robbed. The right call, it was an offensive foul. She wasn't square. I thought she was square. I looked at it again. She wasn't square. Knee was pointed out. Chicken wing, elbow with a chicken wing. But I don't blame her. I blame the guard. I said it in the chat. The guard didn't give her a chance to set the screen, and she rushed it. Dave said, if you're not going to call it all game, don't call it there. I didn't see too many moving screens, so that's just me. But we're not talking about the women's game right now. We are going to talk about the game that happened last night, the NIT championship. Indiana State versus Seton Hall, and what a game it was. I'm not on my banners. I'm on brands. That's crazy. All right, so what a great game Indiana State Seton Hall was. Seton Hall, I ain't gonna lie. At the beginning, Indiana State was hitting threes in response, but Seton Hall, for the most part, defensively, was doing a really good job on Indiana State. I don't know why my banner. Oh, hold on. There you go. Seton Hall was doing a really good job. They was able to make multiple double-digit leads. They made an 11-point lead. Indiana State fought their way back, and then I think they made a 10-point lead. Indiana State was able to fight their way back, but they was getting out on Indiana State early. I think it ended up being tied at 44 at half or something like that. Ended up being tied or a 2-point game at halftime. But you can tell, like, Seton Hall defensive intensity was there. Indiana State was just hitting huge three after huge three to keep themselves close. Second half, same thing. Seton Hall kind of goes out to a lead. Indiana State fights their way back. Indiana State then takes the lead. They build. They get the momentum of the crowd. The crowd's back into it. Indiana State takes the lead. They build. Ends up being a 7-point lead with under 3 or right at 3 minutes left. And I remember I put in the chat, and if you don't know what these chats are, you become a member of the Refuse to Lose Network. Right now, it's free to join the college basketball chat, so you can definitely join. But I go in the chat and I say, look, Indiana State, they're going to have to slow the game down, but they don't like to play at that pace. They like to speed it up. Coming off 2 huge threes that were made to make it a 7-point game, I said, I don't know how they're going to slow it down. And sure enough, I think Seton Hall gets the ball coming out of the timeout. They go down, they miss a shot, they get an offensive rebound. I think they miss a 3, get another offensive rebound, and put back up 5, right? Indiana State's up 5. Come down. I say with like 15 seconds in the shot clock, they shoot a wide open 3 brick, but I wasn't mad at that one because I'm like, okay, you did hit 2 big threes to go up 7. It was an open shot, 15 seconds in the shot clock. I'll live with it. I'm not one of those guys where if you make it, I mean, if you consistently make it, now you miss, it's like, well, go to the basket. I would have preferred they went to the basket, but I'm not going to kill you for that shot because, hey, you just hit 2 big threes. You're hot. I get it. You're open. You didn't rush it. None of that. So cool. Seton Hall comes down. I believe that's not the Dre Davis spin move. I want to say there was another putback layup on this one or another second chance basket on this one to cut it to 3. Indiana State comes down. Same thing. A 3 with a kind of a amount of time on a shot clock. Again, I didn't kill him for that because, okay, you missed 1. But, again, you hit 2 huge ones prior to that. Open shot, maybe 15 seconds left. Cool. I'm cool with that. Fine. You just missed. It was an open look. This is what you do. You just missed. Now, here where it gets crazy. So, Seton Hall comes down. I think they miss it. No, this is where Alamir Dawes hits a 3, which could have been an and 1. The 3 he hit could have been an and 1 3. And instead of the tie in the game, he had an opportunity to put him up 1. They didn't make the call. He did hit the 3. Cool. Seton Hall has tied the game. This is where Indiana State loses me. Coming down the court, Robbie Avila shoots an unneeded 3 with like 20 plus seconds left on the shot clock. You don't need that there. It was a rush shot. Let's try to get something good. Even if we're going to shoot a 3, let's get a better shot than that. Rushes a 3. He misses it. Seton Hall gets it. Dre Davis puts on a phenomenal spin move to the cup with seconds left on the shot clock. It was like maybe 5-6 seconds left on the shot clock. Spin move, makes the layup. Seton Hall's up 2. Indiana State ball. They get the ball. I think they advance it. They try to run something. Nothing's there. Coach calls timeout. Cool. 8 seconds left. And off the inbound, I don't know why he does this. The player gets the ball. I can't remember. I wanted to say it was Ryan Conwell, but I don't think it was Ryan Conwell. Let me see who it was. I wanted to say it was him, but it's not him. But he gets the ball. He does a 1 dribble pull-up with the defender draped all over him from 3 with 8 seconds. You have 8 seconds. That's a lot of time. You can go to the basket. You can try to find a defender. You can run a play for Robbie Avila, your go-to guy. But he does a 1 dribble pull-up. The shot is blocked. No, he misses the shot. The shot comes back out. No. It wasn't blocked. I think he lost it or it gets blocked. One of the two. It gets back in his hands. Then it's blocked, but it goes behind him. Then the player behind him, which I believe is Conwell. Yeah, Conwell then jacks up a 30-foot 3 with 2 seconds left. Doesn't even try to get closer to the rim. He obviously misses. Seton Hall recovers and wins the game by 2. I mean, it was Isaiah Swoop. Okay, it was Isaiah Swoop who did it. I mean, come on, bro. I heard a way to lose a game, but Indiana State had it. They had it, even with the tied ball game. They had it. I don't want to say that the lights got too bright, because even when the lights get bright under 4 minutes, they perform well. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I can't explain to you what happened. I don't understand what happened. I can't put the words and tell you what happened. I just know that if you want to call a game a fold, I feel like Indiana State folded. But I don't think it was the lights too bright. I just think maybe they got smacked them out. It was a tie ball game. They didn't expect it to be tied. And now it's like, how did we get here? And how do we get out of this? And bad shot after bad shot. You got out of it, but not the way you wanted to. So hats off to Seton Hall, though. Hats off to Shaheen Holloway. I'm going to respond to that comment later because I just completely disagree. Hats off to Shaheen Holloway, bro. I said it. I felt like Seton Hall felt like Memphis and Penny, but I just thought this was Indiana State's tournament. I thought they was trying to show the world like, hey, y'all missed us. We going to show y'all why we the highest net ranked team to not make the tournament. And they did. Even in the loss, in my opinion, they showed that they deserve to be in the tournament. But they lost the game. And that's all I really got to say about that, man. Great season for both teams. Hopefully Shaheen can build on this. I want to see Shaheen Holloway do great, especially this being his alma mater. I love when coaches go coach at their alma maters. I want them to do well. I hate to see coaches get fired at alma maters. I'm not saying he was on the hot seat. I just hate to see it happen. So I'm glad he got an NIT, and hopefully he builds on that. So next, we got to talk about the Final Four tomorrow. Let's talk about the Final Four for tomorrow. First game up, we have, I want to say Purdue and NC State is the first game up. Yep. 11th seed NC State at 1 seed Purdue, 6:09 p.m. TBS. Purdue is favored by 8.5 points, led by, you already know, the 7'4" Zach Edey, going against DJ Burns, who's been taking Twitter, social media, all the above by storm, playing really well, having exceptionally great footwork as a big man. So, and then being the Cinderella team as NC State is. Now, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But I'm gonna tell you anyway. 11th seed teams have yet to proceed to the championship game. We've had a couple 11 seeds make it to the Final Four. None has got out of the first round of the Final Four to the championship game. NC State is looking to change that this year. Purdue hasn't been to the Final Four since, the 80s? I know it's been 40-plus years. Matt Painter's finally got Purdue to the Final Four. So let's talk about the game a little bit. We got guard matchups. We got DJ Horn, Braden Smith. We got Fletcher Loyer. Almost called him his brother, Foster. Shout out MSU. Shout out Foster Loyer. And we have Casey Morsell. We have Muhammad Diarra and Trey Kaufman. We have Eli Middlebrooks off the bench. Miles Colvin for Purdue off the bench. Mason Gillis for Purdue off the bench. Mason Gillis is just a senior who could. I think Mason Gillis makes some big shots. He could take the three. Lance Jones is going to be a pest on the defensive end, starting point guard for Purdue. I think he's going – starting guard for Purdue. They all can interchange, but he's going to be a pest. I think they'll put him on DJ Horn because DJ Horn has been absolutely a fire weapon, so I think they're going to try to slow him down with Lance Jones. But the matchup everybody wants to see is Zach Edey and DJ Burns. Can Zach Edey, with all that height, move a guy as big as DJ Burns? And can DJ Burns, with all that footwork, find ways to score over Zach Edey? And stay out of foul trouble, because Zach Edey will put big men in foul trouble, and that's going to be a situation if DJ Burns gets into foul trouble. I like both players to do their thing. I like DJ Burns to catch Zach Edey with a couple footwork moves, maybe an upper under, maybe a fake left, fade right. And DJ Burns is a good passer out the paint. He's a good passer out the paint. He can find guys for threes, find guys backdoor cutting. And I think Muhammad Diarra is going to for sure have to be backdoor cutting, being active around the rim. So I think that's going to be huge as well for NC State, for Purdue. As much as people like to say Zach Edey's just 7'4" and it's not hard to score when you're 7'4", I think it is skill with Zach Edey. I think Zach Edey, he can definitely shoot over both shoulders. Of course, obviously, he gets deep paint position. He's 7'4", and he's not little, but he also has footwork, in my opinion. So it might not be like top tier, but I think he does have footwork. I think he does have skill. He can hit the little inside the paint free throw line, inside the free throw line jump shot. He at times can hit the free throw line jump shot at times. And he's been exceptionally well lately at the free throw line, which is a big plus for Purdue. You can't hack an Edie so far. It's not been working out. In this game, however, it pains me to do it. I love the Cinderella run, but I'm going with Purdue. I'm going with Purdue in this. Purdue, besides having Edie, is great on the perimeter. They're good. They're really good defensively on the perimeter. I know Dalton Knick might have something to say about that, but Dalton Knick is the only one going crazy. The next highest score on Tennessee the game prior, then Dalton having, 37, 39, was Zakai Ziegler with 9. They did a great job on everybody else. It's just Dalton is Dalton, and that's why he's one of the best players in college basketball. So, hey, you live with that. Just don't let nobody else beat you. I think DJ Horn slows down. I think they have trouble running their offense with the way Purdue is disruptive on defense. I do think DJ Burns might get into some early foul trouble, just game flow, things like that, and that will hurt NC State. So I do have Purdue winning this game. I don't know. I think it'll be close, though. I do think it'll be close. I don't know if which side of the 8.5 I would take, but I think it'll be closer than people expect. But I do have Purdue to win. Next game we have is Bama and UConn. I think they met in the PK 80 last year. If Tony's in the chat, he can correct me. I want to say Bama lost to UConn last year, but either way, it don't matter. New year. But Bama, as you know, is led by Mark Sears and Grant Nelson. Grant Nelson's 6'11", some might say 6'10", going against UConn, Tristan Newton, Stephen Castle, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your first name, Cam Spencer, Alex Caravan, Donovan Klingon. I'm not calling him his nickname. I know I'm missing some other guys off the bench. It's going to be really fun to watch Tristan Newton and Mark Sears go at it. Latrell Wrightsell should be back for the Final Four. The transfer out of Cal State Fullerton. I think that's going to be a huge get for Alabama, getting him back. Riley Griffin is going to be an X factor, how well he's shooting the three for Alabama. Because if Alabama got that three ball cooking, it's tough to beat them. It's tough to outgun Alabama, especially with that three ball cooking. Now, Alabama defensively, not really known for it. They've been playing better in the tournament, especially better than how they ended the regular season, giving up 100 points to like Kentucky and stuff like that. But like I said, in the tournament, they've been better on the defensive end. But UConn, they just different. UConn is just different. And I think the championship DNA of Dan Hurley, championship DNA of Klingon, I think that propels them to beating Alabama, who's in the Final Four for the first time ever in school history. Nate Oates has taken his team to Alabama to the Final Four for the first time ever in history. And I think Dan Hurley and the PK 80, I don't know, because they beat Michigan State. I got to look that up. I looked it up on my phone as I talk. But, yeah, I think UConn beats Alabama. And it's just like I said, they different. They've been steamrolling everybody. The only team I don't think that they beat by 20 was Northwestern. I think they beat them by like 17 or something like that in the tournament. But other than that, they've been steamrolling opponents. They just beat Illinois by 29, who I would say is just as powerful as Alabama offensively, and plays defense as the same caliber as Alabama. They just steamrolled by San Diego State by 30, which was a championship game rematch from last year. San Diego State had basically the same team as last year. The only player that was gone for it was Keyshawn Johnson, who was at Arizona this year. Steamrolled them by 30. Like I said, they beat Northwestern by I think 17. And I can't even remember who they played in the first round. I want to say it was Wagner played North Carolina. I can't remember. Was it Grambling State or something like that? I know it was a 16 seed. I just can't remember which one. But yeah, UConn last two tournaments, last year and this year, has just been straight dominance. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I know teams in the past have had 1 year of dominance that's been like this, but to have back-to-back years of dominance like UConn is having right now, I think is unheard of. Dave says he's just saying never mind. He's thinking about the Sweet 16 last year. Yeah, I can't remember who Bama lost on the Sweet 16 after beating Maryland, and that's not a shot. I just remember they beat Maryland because I won some money that game. And I can't remember who they lost to, but Brandon Miller shot terribly. I do remember that. Brandon Miller shot terribly round 1 of 64 in the Sweet 16, but he played phenomenally against Maryland. And again, no shot. It just is what it is. Okay, cool. San Diego State. So yeah, I got UConn winning this game. They just different. Dan Hurley, if you remember from the jump, I do have UConn winning the tournament. So my championship game prediction would be Purdue, UConn, Battle of the Titans, Zach Edey, Donovan Clingan for the 2024 National Championship in college basketball. All right. So now, before I go into the women's games that happened tonight, I do have to make a correction on my record for the NIT. So the NIT is over. I did finish 16-15. Was hoping to finish 17-14 with an Indiana State win. But like I said, at the end of the game, they did what they did. So I finished with 16-15. Not bad. I just wanted to finish above 500. And I got that accomplished. So I'm happy with that. NCAA is no way I finished below 500. So I'm cool with that. So, hey, it is what it is. This is a success in my eyes. So we move on to the women's Final Four recap. And we start with South Carolina blowing out NC State 78-59. Just going to keep it short and sweet, man. First half was a ball game. Both teams turnover happy, to be honest. Both teams were definitely just turning the rock over. It was like one back and forth, one sequence where North Carolina State turned the ball over. The South Carolina turned it right back over. And I think North Carolina scored off that. I think North Carolina was up at the end of the first quarter, 16-13, or we were able to tie it at 16. No, we tied it at 16-16 at the end of the first. Then going into halftime, we were up one. We were up, 32-31. Then I look up. South Carolina is almost up 20. They just turned up third quarter, and that was really in the difference in the ball game. South Carolina won the third quarter 29-6, and that was all she wrote from there. They cruised from there, and like I said, winning 78-59 to advance to the championship game. Shout out Coach Staley, now 37-0. Going against these Iowa Hawkeyes who beat UConn in controversial fashion, 71-69. The game was great throughout. I enjoyed the game. In the beginning, UConn defensively was all over Iowa. Iowa couldn't really get anything going. Caitlin Clark was off from three. I think she started the ball game 2 for 7, 0 for 5 from three. Just could not get anything going. Had a couple of good looks. Had a couple of looks that she normally takes. Just could not get them down. KK Arnold had a phenomenal game in general, but a really good first half. I think she finished with 10 points in the first half. Great game by KK Arnold. I don't know how to pronounce 10 name on defense, but she did a really good job throughout the entire game for UConn. I don't know how to pronounce her name, so I'm not even gonna try it out of respect. But she did a really good job defensively all game. Couple questionable calls against Iowa second quarter. I felt like that wasn't really the difference in making that game close. Couple missed shots. Iowa hit a couple open shots. Made it a 6-point game in the second quarter. UConn was up. Came out third quarter. Another back and forth. Caitlin Clark started to get it going a little bit. She hit a 3 in the third. She got it going a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I think Caitlin Clark really got going in the fourth as well as the entire Iowa team. They ended up going up as much as, I believe, 6 or 7. Then late game, they went up as much as 10. Excuse me. They went up as much as 10. UConn came roaring back. Again, defensive intensity came back. The defensive pressure came back. Ice Brady hit a nice little midi, but then took a questionable 3. But like I said, man, they turned up that defensive intensity, got a turnover late in the game at halftime, which, funny enough, came after 2 intentional fouls. Like, they just tried to get their foul count up because they thought they were going to have to play the foul game. They were sitting at 1 foul for the whole quarter, so I'm pretty sure what Gino told them to do is, like, just get the foul to, like, 4, so that way if they make a shot and we make a shot and we can't, like, counteract each other, we'll have fouls to send them to the free throw line where we can play the free throw game, and hopefully they miss a couple. We make a couple shots that way. But they ended up getting a steal, and then they ended up getting a 3-pointer off of that to, again, number 10. Don't want to mispronounce her name. But they got a 3-pointer to that. Iowa comes back down. Caitlin's running down the shot clock because it was like 39 seconds when they scored. She's running it down. I think she ran it down a little bit too much. All right, so me, personally, I always think you should run the shot clock down to like 10 seconds at the max. But I've started to see teams recently do, like, not even recently, but like a couple years, like last year, 2 years ago now, I see them run it down to like 8-7. And my philosophy behind running it down to 10 seconds is this. You don't automatically make the shot just because you run down the shot clock. You're going to have to give yourself chances for offensive rebounds, this is more so late game, but offensive rebounds, especially if you're down, if you run it down too much and you miss the shot because you're not automatically, just because you run down the shot, don't mean you're going to get an automatically clean look. Don't mean the first pass is going to be open. Sometimes the first pass not there. Now you're scrambling. You get one shot off, no chance for offensive rebound. You're done. You want to give yourself time for offensive rebound just in case. But in Iowa's situation, they didn't get a shot off. Kaylin gave the ball up. The ball ended up in a post. She tried to pass. Well, it was like the elbow of the free throw line. She tried to pass out. She tried to pass the open guy in the corner. Well, open female in the corner, excuse me. Stolen. The ball got stolen. Instead of calling timeout right away, they started to advance the ball. Paige then calls timeout, thinking, I don't know, maybe she thought she had another one to advance it. Maybe she thought she could still advance it. Maybe she thought it's hectic. Let me get a timeout to calm everybody down. I don't know, but she called the timeout, which leads for them not to get the ball in the front court, but instead the back court, which they said in the broadcast, and I agree, she should have rushed it to the front court, then called the timeout. So that way they can, run their offense from the front court. But with 10 seconds left, takes the ball out from like halfway of the backcourt. Ball comes up. They try to run a little screen again action. But I feel like the guard didn't give the big, and this is where the controversy comes in. So this is where I got to respond to this comment right here. I'll respond to it in a second. They ran the little screen again action. I want to say it was 10. Came running towards the top of the key, turned back, ran towards the wing. That's when Aaliyah Edwards tries to set the screen, but I don't think the guard gives her enough time to set the screen, so she's rushing it. She sticks her knee out, elbows out. She's trying to get square, but she's not square. I honestly thought it was solid at first. I just thought it was the upper body that was the offensive foul, but in actuality, the screen was just not a solid shoulders feet apart screen. She was out of her shoulder width apart. Bumps the defender off the trail. Offensive foul is called. Me personally, as a person that played defense, I'm a little bit overweight to be a defender like I was, but I used to play a little defense when I played basketball. I still try to, but I'm out of shape. But I want that call because that leads to an open shot, and I feel like if I'm given the right opportunity to fight over a screen that's legal, that shot isn't there as opposed to getting knocked off my route. Now I can't defend the shot. Now it's an open shot, make or miss. I feel like that call should be made. So I don't think the refs took the game from UConn. I think UConn took the game away from UConn. It's an illegal screen. I don't care whether it's 12 seconds left or 12, well, women's college basketball, 8 minutes left. A foul is a foul. Again, in the chats, what people were arguing were you can't make that call at that time. But if you think it's an offensive foul, I just can't make that call at that time because it's petty. I don't care. It's an offensive foul. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it's petty or not, it's an offensive foul. And to me, it was an offensive foul. The right call was made. Caitlin Clark then gets the ball on the inbound, makes the first, missed the second. UConn gives up an offensive rebound to, I believe, was it Haley? I think Haley got it. I'm not sure. Or, yeah, they give up the offensive rebound, which goes to, because it was a possession error, I believe, it goes to Iowa. Iowa inbounds the ball. Caitlin throws it off. I can't remember who she threw it off. Kills some clock, gets the ball in bounds. She throws it up, and that's your ball game. Iowa wins 71-69. It was a great game on both sides. I think even though Paige kind of didn't shoot it well, I think she still had a good game. I think she still affected the game. KK Arnold had a phenomenal game. I really like what I saw from her. Caitlin had a pretty decent game. Not her best shooting night, but she got through it and she made the plays in the clutch when they needed to be made, hitting big shots, things of that nature. And now Iowa plays South Carolina in the Final Four rematch of last year for the championship, which in the chat, again, I said I wanted Iowa. I didn't think they would win, but I wanted to play them. I want that rematch. I don't think – hey, Caitlin, I think Caitlin had a really good game last year, but I want that rematch. I want to show how, one, I've said it when LSU won last year, they were lucky South Carolina got eliminated, and two, they deserve to be back-to-back champs. And I'm not saying they got the last year stolen from them. I just feel like they were the best team in the country, and the best team in the country didn't win. And it was because the best team in the country didn't win. It's not because no outside forces, none of that. They just didn't win. Iowa beat them that night, and the best team in the country just didn't win the championship. It is what it is. So, again, it's going to be a really good game. The game is Sunday. I'm gonna talk about it after the men's Final Four on Saturday. So I'll come back on a Sunday episode, talk to you about the Final Four games that happened Saturday, talk about the championship game for the women's that night. Don't quote me on the time. It might be afternoon though. I'm not gonna be home. Be at my grandma's house, probably play my little brother some basketball. Get on here, talk about the games. But that's all I got for y'all today. Really good night of college basketball. Really great night for women's college basketball. Hopefully the sport can move forward. Hopefully they can take advantage of this momentum, and hopefully more eyeballs watch the sport. But again, until Sunday, I'll be gone. Oh, matter of fact, one more thing. Since the offseason in both college basketball and college football is around the corner, I know y'all see me going live like 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week. That's done. No more. I'm taking the offseason just like the players. I'm going once a week, and I'll be every Tuesday. There won't be a time because my job won't allow me to have a specific time to go live every time. But it'll just be once a week, every Tuesday, and I'll be going over reviewing how I predicted college football, reviewing coaching hires, reviewing things of that nature. Might talk about some players in the transfer portal. Might talk about some players in the draft. I don't know. It'll be different topics for different things, but yeah, it's going down to once a week. It will not be 2, 3, 4 times a week. It'll be once a week until college football starts ramping up again. Oh, and I'm not talking about spring games. No, sir. Sorry, I just don't think they're that important. They're good. They're fun for fans. They're good for college students to have hope for next year. But talking about them and using them as projections, no. Nah, I don't read too much in the spring games. Most teams don't even really do much. They keep it really vanilla. They do trick plays. They'll try things out. Like I said, they just try to make a fun environment for students, fans, get them excited for next year. That's all it really is for. So we'll not be covering spring games. Again, once a week, every Tuesday. Don't know what time. For sure won't be in the morning unless I'm off. It's going to for sure be in the afternoon, nighttime. But that's all I got for y'all today. And until Sunday, I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.